Hello, my name is Ashley. Welcome to the Design by Sew podcast. I am a knitter and knitwear designer based on Vancouver Island in Canada, and this is my little podcast where I talk about all things fiber arts, so mostly knitting, but sometimes a little sewing and spinning. And I like to just chat about things I've been designing, things I've been making, so I hope that you can grab your craft and let's chat. I have my fishy mug here from Ceramics. What is it? Sweater Weather. It's from Sweater Weather Ceramics. I'm ready to talk Fish Girl Fall. Things are actually wrapping up. We're in the final week of Fish Girl Fall. It's ran from September 1st until December 21st, all of fall. Casey from Young Folk Knits and myself have been hosting this fun make-along where everything has been fish girl themed, sailor, fisherman, coastal sort of themed, and it included all sorts of crafts. So people were knitting, crocheting, sewing, beading, cross-stitching, embroidering. It included all crafts, and it was so fun to see everyone's projects. They were posting on Instagram and on a Ravelry thread. So winners will be chosen after December 21st, and we have some really fun prizes for you all, so can't wait to let you know. So stay tuned for that later on. But today I thought that I would just chat a little bit about one more pattern that I released for Fish Girl Fall and some other things that I've been working on. So before I get started, I'll just mention what I'm wearing. I put the hardware on my Riley overalls. So in the last episode, I talked about sewing these if you want to hear more information about the pattern and the fabric and everything, but they are done and I've been wearing them. And then today I'm wearing them with a Rift Tee. I think that's what it's called. Yeah, the Rift Tee by Jack Cieslak. This was like the second or third sweater that I ever knit, so it was definitely like beginner. There's a lot of mistakes in it, but it's just a comfy throw-on sweater. All right, so I can't wait to show you what I've finished. It's another pattern to add to the Old Salt family. So this was the first pattern that started it all, the Old Salt socks. I released this in September. It's a cute color work sock with instructions to knit it both toe up or cuff down, so you can choose which way you like to knit them. There's the sardine color work around the cuff and then a little half stripe on the toe. So it's just on the top of your toe, not on the bottom. So my Old Salt family began with these deer socks. After that, I knit some mitts. So they use the same colorwork motif around the hand of these little sardines. And then there's some extra colorwork with corrugated rib and a little bit on the thumb there of some 1x1 colorwork. So this was the next pattern that was released. When was this? I think it was released in November. Yeah, in November. So the Old Salt Mitts. And now the latest pattern that has been released in the Old Salt family is the Old Salt Mittens. So full mittens covering your fingers and thumbs. I'll put on these ones first. So these ones still feature the sardine colorwork motif, but it's a lot simpler. It's just the fish around your hand, so it's really easy and approachable if you're new to color work. This is a very approachable project where you're only doing color work for this much of your mittens, so it's easy to practice on and it's not too overwhelming. So this was one of my samples, and then I'll show you another with the light MC and the dark contrast color. And this was the other. Can you tell which ones are blocked and which one is not blocked? This one I haven't gotten around to blocking yet. But anyways, this is my newest pattern that's released. So it's the Old Salt Mittens. I have a special sale going on to celebrate the release of the mittens. So you can use the code OldSaltYT, so Old Salt YouTube, to get 20% off of this new pattern, but also 20% off of all the patterns in the Old Salt family. So So all 3 of these patterns are 20% off until the end of the month, December 31st. So that is a special coupon code just for my YouTube viewers. I do have sales on Instagram, but they run a lot shorter. And so this one is specifically for my YouTube viewers. So thank you so much for your support. I hope you have as much fun knitting and wearing these as I have. So I'll tell you a little bit about the Old Salt Mittens pattern. It is written to be knit cuff up in the round. It's graded to 4 sizes, so it fits hands from 7 to 10 inches in the hand circumference. The length is obviously customizable. There's a nice roomy thumb gusset here. I actually really like how the thumb gusset on the mittens fits. It goes along your hand. So it's a different style from the thumb gusset in the mittens, which is kind of like a wedge. It's like a triangle that starts right here and grows out. So it lies straight here, whereas the mittens, the gusset goes down this way. I'll see if you can see a difference. I'll put them both on. So they both fit really good, but yeah, it's just a different construction. So if you can see this one, the line kind of goes down across your hand, and this one, the line just goes straight down. But yeah, it was a fun construction to write up. It's really intuitive and easy to knit. And my test knitters did amazing jobs on theirs. It was really, really fun to see what colors they chose. A lot of them, a few of them made the size 1, the smallest size, for their kids. So they chose really fun, bright colors, and it's really cute to see them on kids' hands. I'm actually considering if I might write the pattern for children, for toddlers and children. I'll have to figure out some math to see that if it works with the colorwork portion with the fish. But yeah, that might be coming in the future. So the yarn that I used for the mittens, this is my first sample. I used Harrisville Designs Daylights and Nightshades. So the Daylights color that I used, it's called 826. It is their light shade with like a hint of green in it. So in natural light, you can kind of see this has like a green sort of tone to it. It's really pretty. And then the Nightshades color that I used is Insomnia. So it's their dark base with a hint of, it's kind of like an olive green that's spun into it. So both of them have this green tone to it. And for this version, I chose to add a little color stripe at the bottom of the cuff. Another version I made has just a solid cuff. And then for my second version, this is the long cuff that can be folded up. So for these mitts, I used some hand spun of my own. I spun this from a Bramble Ridge, what are they called? Just braid? Yeah. I spun this from a Bramble Ridge braid that I got last year. The colorway is called Shoreline. So it's these moody kind of blacks and grays that go into burgundies and browns. Lots of kind of natural colors, but very like dark and moody. I really, really like it. And this spun up to be, I'd say, between a DK and a worsted weight, but I was able to get gauge for these mittens, which were written for DK weight yarn. So that's my second pair, and I really love them. I've been wearing these ones a lot more. I feel like the colors are easy to match with my jackets and my coats, and there's just something special about using your own hand spun yarn. I really, really enjoy it. Oh, that's the oven. I'm baking some bread. I'll take you along if you want to see. There's my bread. Turned out really good this time. I made 2 loaves so that I can freeze one and it'll last us a little longer. All right, we're back. There's nothing better than warm, fresh bread with a little bit of butter, and I like to sprinkle some salt on it too. So good. Okay, so where were we? So that's all that I wanted to say about the Old Salt mitts. I will move on to the next Old Salt pattern. I think this is going to be the last of them. I've really enjoyed doing the Old Salt patterns. They've kind of just like flowed, starting with a sock, it just flowed into the next ones, and I've been kind of just running with it. But after this, I think I'll be done with sardines for a while. But the next pattern that I'm making is the Old Salt hat. I'll show you what yarn I'm using. Bring it up here. Okay, so this is the yarn that I'm using. These are Farmer's Daughter Fibers, Recollect and Reminisce. They so kindly sent them to me to design a hat with. I had purchased this yarn before to knit a hat before, and I absolutely loved it. It's so bouncy and squishy and just makes a really, really nice texture. Nice, like not super thick, heavy hat, but still warm. So I knew that I wanted to design a hat myself out of it. So I am using, let me get the bands here. This is the Reminisce base, so it's lighter colorways, and this one's called Love Me Like You Used To, so it's kind of just like this neutral gray. And then the other two are the more moody, darker colors, so these are the Recollect ones, and they are, I believe the kind of like coppery, rusty red here is called Flower Point, and then the navy is called I've Got Dreams to Remember. So I wanted to kind of still continue on with that sort of nautical color theme of red, white, and blue, but these are definitely like moodier and kind of like nostalgic colors too. They look a little bit more nostalgic of my childhood, like from the 80s and 90s. So when I was thinking about this design, I kind of wanted to go for like retro, vintage, sort of like vintage LL Bean or vintage J. Crew. We've been watching the Home Alone movies, so all of Kevin McAllister's like big toques that he wears from the 90s, I kind of wanted to go for that vibe. Okay, so that's the yarn, and I'll show you how far I've gotten on the hat. I've made a brim. So it starts with just like a 1x1 ribbed brim. This is obviously the wrong side, and then it gets folded up to show the stripes. So at this point, I feel like it kind of looks like those sweat headbands from the 80s, which I guess I'm kind of going for like a retro, kind of like old-timey 90s hat. So hopefully this is hitting the mark. But yeah, after the brim, I'm going to be using this as the main color. So most of the hat will be in this gray color, and then I've got the two contrast colors for the color work. So the sardines and then some other color work added in there. So yeah, I'm kind of picturing like this bigger toque, and then at the top is going to be a pom-pom with all three of these yarns together. So yeah, big colorful kind of like bloop pom-pom on the top. So that's my plan for the Old Salt hat, and other than maybe like some kids, toddlers size Old Salt mittens, this should be the last pattern of the Old Salt family, unless inspiration strikes again. But for now, that's my plan. Okay, I have one more work in progress that I wanted to share with you, and let's see if I can get this presentable. All right, this is it here. This is my Flowerless pressed flowers cardigan. I'm knitting this for my husband. And I started this quite a while ago. It's been a very slow knit just because it's slipped stitches, it's knit with sport weight to fingering weight yarn. So yeah, it's been pretty slow, and there's been times that I've just let it sit in a basket for quite a while. But right now I am trying to kind of like push through and finish this. My goal was to finish it for our anniversary, which is next month. I could if I really focused on it, but I'm having some yarn chicken issues that I'll explain later, so I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to finish in time. But anyways, I'll start talking a little bit first about the pattern and my modifications, and then I'll get into the yarn issues. So like I said, this is the Pressed Flowers cardigan. It's a pattern by Amy Cristoffers, who is Savory Knitting on Instagram. I knit one of these cardigans for myself a couple years ago. Loved it. I love the shape of the cardigan, how it fits. It's really, really nice. So when I was making that, I had this idea to make one for my husband using the same stitch pattern. So it is knits and purls and slip stitches, and it creates this really nice kind of like waffle stitch with the texture. So I wanted to make my husband a cardigan, obviously without the flowers, just like that plain stitch pattern. So based on my gauge, I made the size 3 for my husband, and then I just made a few modifications. I knit the body longer. Okay, so this is how it would sit, kind of, if you can see that. So the V-neck, yeah, like that. The V-neck is a little bit deeper for my husband. So on the original pattern, it kind of starts right maybe about here, and then it more quickly progresses to the end. But for my husband, I wanted the V to be a little bit more like deeper. So I started here. I kind of adjusted the rates of decreases so that it would elongate that V and taper up. And then another modification that I made is the depth of the armhole. So the armhole drop is deeper for him. And then when I get to the sleeves, I'll kind of figure out the decreases in the sleeves to see how quickly I need to decrease and how wide of a wrist or a cuff I want for him. So I've kind of been making the modifications as I've gone along. I did some math and I wrote it out in a notebook, but then as I've been knitting, obviously I've been making some changes as I go. So yeah, I'm really happy with the fit on him. I love the fabric that this yarn is creating. I think it's going to look really, really nice on him. But now let's move on to the yarn. So for this project, let me grab the balls. Here they are. So for this project, I am using this sport weight yarn. It is from Grenouille Co. It's a BFL Sport, and it's in the color Lampblack. So it's just this beautiful tonal gray, charcoal gray color. And then for the contrast color, I'm using this fuzzy yarn. I don't know if it's mohair or not. I'm actually unraveling a commercially knit sweater and using this yarn, and that's an adventure in itself. The way that it's knit, it actually has 3 of these strands together. So I unravel it and then I pull apart the strands, but because it's so fuzzy, they get really like tangled and knotted together, and yeah, it's kind of a headache. But I have tons and tons of yardage of this yarn. So the 2 of them together are making this beautiful fabric. It has a really nice soft halo to it. It's not too floofy for my husband, but it's just like nice and soft and really like it. But now getting to my yarn chicken woes. So way back when, like probably 1.5 years ago, I had ordered the yarn with this project in mind. So I had ordered 4 balls of this, 4 skeins, thinking that that would be enough just based on what I used in my cardigan. I used less than 3, and so I just thought like, okay, for my husband, 4 should be enough. But I'm obviously knitting a bigger size for him, and it's longer in the body, it's going to be longer in the arms, the whole thing's bigger. So I'm actually going through my yarn a lot faster than I thought I would be. At this point, this is my last ball. So I feel like, let's see here. So I'm almost at the vest kind of part of this cardigan, and I've used probably like 3 1/4 balls of yarn. So obviously I'm not going to finish with the yarn that I have left. And I've been looking around trying to see how I can get some more of this yarn. Grenouille Co's shop is closed at the moment. I can't order from her. I put it out on Instagram stories just asking to see if anyone might have some extra of this yarn that they'd be willing to sell. I got crickets there, didn't hear from anyone. So then I went on Ravelry and I looked through people's stashes to see who might have this exact yarn in this space and this colorway, and there's 2 people on Ravelry that have it in their stash. It is under like not for sale. So I very kindly and politely and not in a pushy way just wrote them a little note asking if they weren't using it, would they be open to selling it? I heard back from one of them, and funnily enough, she was knitting with it right then. She was using it in a project, but she said that whatever she doesn't use in her project, she'd be happy to let me purchase the leftovers from her. So I have a 57-gram ball coming my way of this same yarn. So I'm going to just knit with all the yarn that I have and see where I get. I think with that extra amount of yarn, I'll be able to finish the sleeves, hopefully, but I kind of feel like I'm not going to have enough for the button band. So I might have to get a little creative with that. I might need to use the fuzzy yarn for, I don't know, like the button band and the cuffs. I don't know if that's gonna look funny or not. But yeah, I'm gonna knit until I run out of yarn and then decide then what I'm going to do. But yeah, this is my kind of like big project right now that I'm focusing on. I really want it to be done by this winter so that he can get to wear it. And it can be off my needles, and hopefully my next project will be a little bit more faster moving because this one's a little slow. All right, I have some like spinning and some sewing projects that I've been working on, but I'll save that for another video just to keep this one short and sweet. I hope you're all having a very nice beginning to winter. I hope that you're able to carve out some crafting time, some knitting time, and enjoy some time with family. We have my in-laws coming to visit, so my husband's family. They're coming for 2 weeks on Wednesday, so I'm getting things ready. Hence the 2 loaves of bread. I needed to make extra so that we have extra. But anyways, yeah, getting things ready for them. Looking forward to that. All right, I'll talk to you all later. Happy knitting.